Hello, good afternoon, everyone. This is Tibor Major from Multisoft. And within a couple of seconds, we'll start our presentation about our new release, which is going to be 4.9. And we just wait for a couple of seconds because I'm also seeing that a couple of new attendees are just joining. So by the time we are waiting for the others, can you just quickly raise your hand if you can hear me okay? Okay, I see. I see some hands up, so that's good. Thank you very much. Okay, I think I start the presentation. So welcome once again. My name is Tibor Major. As you may already know me, and my colleague Robert Anjol is also in the room. He is just in a listen-only mode and following us. I am the business unit director of our Innovative Solutions business unit, and he is the business development manager of our business unit here. And let's see what we have done in the last couple of months. Just a very short recap about the last release, which was 4.8. On the left side, you can see our biggest improvements in the latest release, which was the auto online offline mode, which enabled you to basically forget about your current connection state. The application can manage that for you and automatically switches between online and offline mode when it has detecting a connection to the server and work in online or offline mode accordingly. We have a new advanced profile configuration, which gives you much more possibilities on the profile level than ever. So basically there you can simply build up with a very nice user interface your main menu for the different profiles. You can exclude the different pages. You can control which pages should be able to access offline as well or just online only. But you can also control the field visibility per profile now. So that's also very good. We have also redesigned the base configuration according to the auto online offline mode, because there we have basically merged all the online and offline pages together. So now we have only one pages for different base configuration portions. And in the profile, you can choose whether to use, for example, the customers or the items in online or offline mode. We have also implemented an automatic JavaScript merge, which makes the development of the offline logic much more easier than ever, because now you don't need to do the merging part separately from the RTC client, but you can simply just add a new field, for example, to your page. You press the refresh page data, and that will automatically do the merging part for you. You only need to just touch the JavaScript if you want to extend and use that new field in your offline logic. And label printing. So we have implemented direct printing for different label printers, and you can utilize that from the mobile device online or offline mode as well. And on the right side, you can see just some other small improvements. This also shows how big and how rich this last release was. So we have many things there. I don't want to go through all of them. So that was just a quick recap of our latest release. So let's see what we do in 4.9 and what we are working on right now. First of all, I would like to introduce that MobileNAV add-on plus our base configuration with its latest available version is now available, or we are working on that, but we will release the AL version on extensions very, very soon. This means that basically, I will show you later a little bit more detail about this, but basically now you can use our solution as a AL extension as well. Later on, we are also planning to upload our solution to the app source as well. Office 365 authentication, basically this comes together with the SaaS, Business Central SaaS compatibility, because if you want to be part of that ecosystem, then Office 365 authentication is a must. So we will include that possibility as a new authentication method for the client applications. And therefore, since Office 365 authentication requires other type of login details to be specified on the login screen, therefore we have redesigned our login screen. So now we have, I think, a much more simplified login screen now, and you will see later on what we have also added here. And last but not least, we have added a new option, which we call the offline data recalculation by trigger, which means that now you can basically rely on event subscriptions and trigger the data refresh based on those event subscriptions, so that the client application or the login time or by the NAS operations, the system should not recalculate all the offline records in order to figure out whether the client application should download a certain offline page or not. So let's see the different details regarding each point. So first of all, MobileNAV on AL extensions. We have also started with the most well-known tool, which is the text to AL converter tool. And yeah, it's not a secret. We have started from 1,100 errors, which were mainly because of the metadata handling, because that should change with extensions, of course. So we had many errors with that. The .NET usage, MobileNAV is a quite complicated add-on as such, and therefore we have used many .NET objects, and all of these has to be refactored, and some of them has been implemented in AL types, some other has been implemented differently. The add-on also invokes the web service internally, so that has to be also totally rewritten. And traditionally we had MobileNAV component DLL, which is not possible in the AL extensions. So therefore we had to get rid of that in the AL version of MobileNAV, and of course file handling has also changed. There are some breaking changes with this AL extension. So there will be slight differences between the CAL release of MobileNAV from now on and the AL extension. First of all, it's quite trivial. ManySuite is not possible with the AL extensions. So therefore, we have created a MobileNAV administration page, which is basically an all-in-one page. You will see during the demo. And every MobileNAV related functionality can be accessed from that one single point of available page. So there you can access everything. That basically replaces the ManySuite of our add-on. There were some function buttons in MobileNAV add-on which allow you to export or import multiple files at once. That's not possible with AL, so those won't be available. For example, you could export all the JavaScript codes as one function button, or you could export all the configuration images, and those are at the moment not available. We also had a color preview in the general setup that also not possible with AL. I mean, we could, or maybe in the future we'll create something like a client control, and there, of course, it will be possible. But for now, we have just simply removed that. decimal places, which we have just recently introduced in 4.8. Unfortunately, it is not possible to grab it from the metadata of NAV in AL code. So therefore, this basically we have left this inside of the solution. So you're still able to specify the decimal places, but it's not coming from the table or the page object automatically. You need to modify that manually inside the MobileNAV configuration. That's all. And the last one, NTLM authentication. The AL type HTTP client is not supporting the NTLM authentication as we speak. So that only means that if you are planning to implement a Business Central with NTLM authentication, on those cases you still need to use the CAL until Microsoft is extending the AL type and the HTTP client and allow NTLM authentication in that as well. So after this, let's see a very quick demonstration of that. So I will switch to my Visual Studio Code here, and hopefully you will see that we have a very nice set of objects here. Yeah, we are having a couple of pages, code units, tables, reports, and everything is now included in this AL folder. And as you can see, it's available. It doesn't have any errors. And basically, if I switch to my other window here, which I open up the Business Central version in the sandbox environment, there you will see that basically we have compiled this Studio package into this environment. So basically, what you see here, you can see in the URL in the address URL here that we are really using the Business Central here. So this is a Business Central sandbox at the moment. And if I just simply go and press the Add Queue, which is a very cool feature of the new NAV, there you will find this one single point of access, the MobileNAV administration, what I have just promised. If you click on that, then you will see the different options. So there you will see all the configuration pages. You can have access to the offline cockpit. On the devices, we have created different views where you can see all or just the active ones, etc. And in the setup, there you can see, for example, the MobileNAV users, where you can, as you already got used to, there you can set up the profiles, you can set up their salesperson code or anything else. So as you can see, this is just the already used MobileNAV user interfaces, but now totally on AL. So this is, for example, the configuration list here. So here you will find all the different MobileNAV base configuration pages, what we have already created, and you have possibly already seen that. And if you go to certain page, then the configuration detail page will open, where you will see the very same things. So the very same look and feel. We have a general tab there. Okay, I just need to wait. Yeah, there you go. So I make it a bit wider. So yeah, this is the bin content page in the AL type or the AL version of MobileNAV add-on. So these are pretty the same fields, the same options, but of course with a little bit different user interface and look and feel. But that's all. So everything is here available, and everything what you were able to do before 4.8 in the CL version, you should also be able to do it in this AL version of MobileNAV as well. And yeah, that's this part of the story. So let's move forward. So next thing, Office 365 and simplified login screen. Yeah, this is something like a must if you want to integrate with Business Central. because in the SaaS version, for example, the only user type at the moment what you can create is Office 365 users. So at the moment, you are not able to create NAV user password users or anything else in the SaaS version, only in the on-prem version. And yeah, that's why Office 365 authentication is a must. And since Office 365 has different parameters which you need to set up during the login, therefore we have redesigned the login screen. And together with the redesign, we have also added some new features. Like now, you can edit or delete the login configuration. So previously it was a bit hidden and not really well-known feature of MobileNAV. If you logged into MobileNAV in the previous versions, then you could press the save login configuration. You can give a name, and then from the next login screen, you could open up the save login configuration, and you could choose. And with that approach, you could switch between the login configuration. But it was somehow hidden in a menu, so it was not really well known by the users. But now we have redesigned the user interface. So now you will see later on that we have something like a combo box from where you can choose the login configuration, what you would like to log in. And you can import login configuration. That's also a very interesting thing. We have created our own XML layout, which is encrypted, of course, which can contain login configurations, and you can send out with an email to the device. And we have also implemented deep link there. So if you double click on that file, MobileNAV will open that and launch the login configuration editor screen, where you can save that new configuration in the already existing login configuration. And of course, it will also support Office 365. So let's quickly see a demo of that. So what I will do now is I will start MobileNAV, and you will see that our nice new simplified login screen. So this basically only have something like one combo box on the beginning, which basically allows you to select the login configuration which you would like to log in with. And here you can find something like a grayish button with a line which tells you that there are some details there. So if I just push that button, then I can see the details here. But a change compared to the previous versions, that the login details here are not editable anymore. Okay, so this is what you can do if you press on this combo box and press the pencil icon for editing the login configuration, and there you will have the editable version of the login configuration. This one, what I just opened up, is a Business Central login details. So on the lower part, you can see that basically this particular login configuration is logging into the Business Central web services. Here you have a very awful instance name, but that's how Business Central works. That's the GUID basically. We have a Cronus USA with demo data, and the top part is basically the Office 365 authentication details. The good news is that you don't need to enter all these details manually, because what you can do is that I will show it later on, but you can press on the file and it will bring up this screen automatically, and then you can press save. And what happens is that if you press login, so let's quickly test the Office 365 authentication here. MobileNAV will display the standard Microsoft login screen from where you can hopefully know. Okay, I thought that I still have the user name from my clipboard, but let me quickly put it in. Oops, sorry. So there you go. I have a test user in this domain, and if I press next, I need to provide the credentials. And once I do that, then it will authenticate against the Office 365 Azure, the Azure Active Directory in behind. And together with that authentication token, it can communicate with the Business Central instance. So this will do the authentication process, what we already used to, and sooner or later it will log in to this instance. Okay, it seems my sandbox environment is a little bit in sleep mode at the moment, so the first login takes a bit longer, but now it's loading the configuration. Great, and you will see that I'm logging in. Yes, there you go. So yeah, this is the normal already used or seen login screen and the main screen of MobileNAV with the different options like sales, inventory, finance. But now this MobileNAV instance has connected to this sandbox environment, and yeah, you still have the MobileNAV based configuration as you got used to. So if I open up, for example, the customers, then you can see the demo customers here. I can open up their detail card. So this part did not change. Only what we have changed in this release that now it is able to use the Office 365 authentication, and then it can connect to NAV. And let's just see the item catalog, because that contains very nice pictures there. So if I open it up, then you can see the demo chairs of the Business Central database, which is also very cool. So I can open up the detail card of that and see the details of the items. But everything is just like before available, but now on Business Central SaaS version together with the AL extension on the SaaS version. Okay, and yeah, let's quickly log out, because I would like to also show you one more thing. So I will quickly switch to my Outlook, because I have emailed myself a login configuration. So now MobileNAV is not running, as you can see, and let's imagine that my administrator generated a login configuration for this Office 365 environment. So therefore, I see a MNLC, which stands for MobileNAV login configuration extension file. And if I double click on that and I press open on it, then MobileNAV will be launched, and automatically the details in the login configuration will be included on the login config page. And all I need to do is that I can press save button there, which will automatically check whether this login configuration is valid or not. So I will simply say that, okay, this is test user 2 for now. I provide the password, and hopefully it will check whether this configuration is the proper one. Yes, it is. So I can now select it and press login on the MobileNAV login screen, where of course I need to provide the credentials once again, because this is now not the import part, but the actual login. So now I press yes for downloading the data, and hopefully it will run and download the configuration just like the previous time. So basically importing MobileNAV login configuration together with Office 365 details is very, very easy. We provide tools on the MobileNAV add-on to be able to create such files for the login, so the administrators can generate this kind of login configuration files and send out through email. And with that approach, they can easily have their MobileNAV users on the board, and they don't need to type in any manual information. So now I'll quickly log in with this other user, because I would like to also continue the demo with this one. So I will let it run, and I will wait until it logs in, and I will continue my presentation, but let's quickly see how the first login of MobileNAV looks like in Business Central. So what I'm logging in right now is a sales user, and this sales user is an offline user. So all this, that's why it's downloading so many data, because now this particular client is preparing for the offline mode. I will also tell you why it is interesting to see this. Okay, there you go. So I have logged in with this other user here. Okay, so let's go back to my presentation and continue with the slides. Okay, last topic, offline data recalculation by trigger. As you already know, MobileNAV needs to recalculate the offline pages when it synchronizes the offline data with the server. And this recalculation originally could only be by client or by NAS with MobileNAV so far. The by client means that during the login process or during the background synchronization calls, the client invoking a method which does that recalculation during that login process. Which means that if you have many offline data and with many records, then that could result in timeouts, offline login timeouts. And the other option was to configure the offline pages for NAS recalculation. That meant that basically you need to set up a NAS somewhere which periodically recalculated certain offline pages in order to let the client know whether he should synchronize or not. Because basically this recalculation process was because of the fact that the client application is not always downloading everything. He gets that version information or date time information from the server during the login process, and depending on how much offline data has to be refreshed during that process, this could cause offline login timeouts. But now we are introducing a new option. So from now on, from 4.9, you will also be able to configure the by trigger option. Of course, by trigger option will be available across the different MobileNAV versions for different platform versions. So this also will be available for 2009 R2, of course. But the biggest advantage of the by trigger is if you have event subscribers, which means that NAV 2016 or above. Because there, with the events subscribers, you can subscribe to modified or insert or delete triggers of the system on a certain table. And from inside that trigger, you can also let the MobileNAV client know that this particular table has just changed. And this means that the recalculation should not be done anymore. For these offline pages, because the triggers will make sure that if a record changes or a new record is introduced or a record is deleted, then on the next offline data sync of the client, the server will let know the client that he needs to re-download that page, or if you configure record level synchronization, then it will just download the data there. And so that's the event subscriber solution. And in the AL version, we will also planning to introduce the record level synchronization in the base configuration, because with the previous version of MobileNAV base configuration, we have not added record level for the offline pages because of the simple fact that we cannot know which offline page of your customer will contain huge amount of data. And where the record level synchronization need to be configured. So, and therefore, and the second reason why we have not included record level sync is that for the record level sync, you need to modify the table object during the configuration of the record level sync. And we wanted to keep our very simple installation procedure where you don't need to really merge and touch many objects. And therefore, we didn't want it to enforce you, our partners, to merge different item tables or customer tables, whatever, because maybe that's not an issue because they are just having 1,000 items or 1,000 customers, and there the record level sync doesn't really make sense. So, but with the AL version and with the extensions, we have the possibility to just extend the page with the record level sync additional fields, and the base configuration for the AL version could contain the different most problematic pages with record level synchronization already included. So these are the two things what can be used together with the byte trigger, and I will also quickly show you how it needs to be done. For that, I will switch to my demo environment. Hopefully I can see it somewhere. Okay, let me just quickly close it. So this is our well-known Hyper-V image, what we are giving for our partners if they want to quickly start with MobileNAV. And there I would like to show you this new methodology. What we have added is a new code unit, what we have named mmconfig event subscriptions. If I design this code unit, and this is not the AL version now, I'm showing you the CAL version, but the same thing is also available in the AL version, of course. So here, we have a couple of methods like update by record ID or update by table ID. But if I continue to scroll down, there you will find a couple of event subscribers. For example, we have event subscriber for the on after database insert, on after database modify, and on after database delete. And in this very nice setup part, when the system asks us whether to react on certain tables on insert, on modify, or on delete, there we can define whether the byte trigger option is enabled for that particular page in the MobileNAV configuration or not. And if it's enabled, then we will turn on the on after database insert, modify, delete, and rename for that particular table. And what happens here is that when the event is fired by the NAV system, then we just simply we tell the MobileNAV offline administration that this table has been changed, so the user need to download it. So I can also show you the same, because this is also available in the AL version. So if I go to mmconfig, if I found it, sorry. Yeah, mmconfig subscriptions. So here the same thing, but on AL version, of course. And this is this is already uploaded to this Business Central sandbox what I'm running here. So if I go back to my environment here, to this sandbox environment, what I will try to present now is if I open up in MobileNAV, for example, the customer list, there I can see a couple of customers. Okay. So I go back to NAV and I open up the customers here as well. Okay, and let's open up one customer here, like trade research in the web client, and I will modify its name just very quickly, just for demonstration purposes. Okay. I close it, And let's also create a new customer very quickly. So I will just press new here. Yeah, whatever. We choose a template here and I give it a name. Okay. And we are ready. So basically, we did a modification here and the new record, and without doing anything in the MobileNAV system, the customer is already set up as a buy trigger option in the configuration. And as you can see on the top left corner, this particular user is in offline mode right now. So if I go to the synchronization pane and initiate manual synchronization for now, because I don't want to wait until the automatic background synchronization will happen, that without doing anything, this will basically download the modified customer and the deleted and the created customer automatically, because the system is basically relying on the trigger on the triggers what has been already fired on the server side. Since I'm also having some other offline pages, those are also refreshed, and hopefully if I go back to the customers, no, of course it doesn't work for now, but anyway, in the end, this should basically download the details of the new customer. And I can also show you the configuration of this. So if we go back to MobileNAV administration, there you have the configured pages. And if I go to the customer, for example, there on the configuration user interface, you will see that we have this new type of check for changes, which is now set to buy trigger. There you go. So this is the new option here. Originally, we only had the NAS, the buy NAS and the buy client option, and now the buy trigger is also available. And if you have just a normal page which has a source table with our mnconfig event subscriber code unit, you don't need to do any further action. It will automatically update that particular date time, and update the date time, and the client will then download the modified records from the page. So I think I have finished with my presentation. So this was the very quick introduction and just something like a preview of our new version. When we are going to release this, we are planning to release this by the end of March. So this will be a much shorter release, what you already got used to, because this only will concentrate on the Business Central compatibility with Office 365 authentication, with the EL version of MobileNAV, etc. So this will be a shorter release, and we are planning to release that by the end of Q1. Basically. So I hope you enjoyed the conference. If you have any questions, then you can ask it in the questions pane. I will open it up, and if there is any question, then please submit it, and I will try to answer it for you. If you don't have any questions, then yeah, please feel free to log out, and thank you very much for attending, and have a good day. Okay, Malcolm is asking, he wants to know about the pricing of the BC client required. Okay, the Business Central pricing you already know, so that's not really a MobileNAV question. MobileNAV prices won't change with Business Central pricing. There you will be able to buy the subscription licenses of MobileNAV, or if you wish, we can also give you permanent licenses for that as well. Our licensing structure did not change just because we are on Business Central SaaS version or on-prem version. Okay, second question, Lucas. Will the AL extension also support NAV 2018 or only Business Central? Very good question. It is just extension 2.0. Yeah, I mean, some portions of the MobileNAV add-on with the AL types, we require a certain version of the NAV system, and I don't think that certain things will also be added automatically to the NAV 2018. So I definitely know one example, like when you import the MobileNAV configuration from the XML file, we automatically create the web service publishing records, and that was not really possible with the AL version, and therefore we have requested some new system methods to be able to add those web service registrations, which is now available, but only with the latest version of Business Central. But of course, we'll check the possibility there. So if we can do it, then we will do it. If not, then maybe not. I want to know the Business Central client essentials or team. So the client, the type of license. We cannot really hijack and we don't really want to hijack the Business Central licensing, because they will protect their own property. So if you want to utilize essentials or premium functionality of NAV, then you need to buy that license. What we'll definitely do is that we will also apply for device licenses in the Business Central, because that's not automatic. So once we finish the MobileNAV add-on and configuration, we will very shortly start the conversation with Microsoft. First of all, because of the app source version of MobileNAV, and secondly, we also would like to ask for the device ISV device license for the Business Central SaaS version, and yeah. When it will be available, then of course you won't be restricted for essentials or team license. What is the test coverage? What test coverage is there for MobileNAV AL? Okay, so this was very hard work so far what we have done, because basically we have started this AL conversion somewhere in October. So within 2 months, we have translated all the different objects, removed all the errors, whatever. But now we have the CAL version somehow or 99% mirrored to the AL version, and we have also executed a refactor, which where we basically moving the platform specific code into different code units, because what we would like to achieve in the end is that we will have a MobileNAV core objects which can be translated from CAL to AL every time. So if we do normal NAV development, MobileNAV development, then we just simply convert the CAL again, and it will just be included in the AL project. And only the platform specific parts, code units, are not translated back and forth, because those are platform specific, like the mentioned component DLL replacement, or the file handling, or the metadata handling, or something else. So that's going to be a quite huge amount of work anyway for our team. So therefore the test coverage is not at all started. But of course, when we will try to apply for app source, of course we need to provide unit tests for the MobileNAV component as well. Now that the DLL will be discontinued, where does that logic live now on the SaaS version of BC? Where does that logic live now? Okay, so basically we have implemented the different portions of the DLL either in CAL, because, for example, I'll just give you one example. We are in 4.8 we have introduced this merge JavaScript functionality, which originally have been implemented inside that component DLL because it was much easier to write that in .NET code. But in Business Central, that's not available. So therefore, we have just simply tried to write it in pure AL code, and we have managed that. So it's not running with a .NET DLL, but it's running on AL code. Some others uses AL types, of course, where we can use. And as I mentioned, there will be some breaking changes which we're not able to return in AL code, like the NTLM authentication or the decimal places, etc. But we don't use any additional components. So I can also show you that, by the way. So if I go to my to go back to my Visual Studio Code, there you will see that we have a compiled app file somewhere. If I scroll down, I don't find it. By the way, I go there. Don't source AL. So there you will see that there is a Multisoft underscore MobileNAV with the version, and that's an app, and that's the only thing what you need to upload at the moment manually to the Business Central version, and later on we will try to push this app for the app stores, of course, with signed certificates, etc. Okay, is there any other question? I hope I answered all of them. If not, then please let me know, and I will try to answer it. Okay, I don't see any more question. So once again, thank you very much for joining. I hope you enjoyed this webcast about our new release. Yeah, I hope we will keep in touch. So in a couple of months, I hope I will hold a similar webinar like this, but now with announcing the actual release of the AL version and the actual release of the MobileNAV clients with the Office 365 authentication. Thank you very much and have a good day. Bye-bye.